Yasharala, Shalom, Hallelujah. This is your brother, right? Zakon Shapat Parazah, Elder Judge Parazah, your servant in this walk to the laws, commandments, and statutes of Yahweh. Want to give you some information about the Passover for 2020, the Gentile calendar 2020, which will begin on the Hebrew day, sunset to sunset, of April 6th to April 7th, and will end on the Hebrew day, sunset to sunset, of April 12th to April 13th. When we read the book of Exodus, chapters 11, 12, and 13, it recounts to us and records the meaning of the Exodus and the meaning of Passover, which was a celebration of liberation from captivity made by sacrifice to Yahweh of a lamb, and also the firstborn of the African Egyptians were killed on that 15th day of Abib because their leader, Pharaoh, refused to allow the children of Israel to go from captivity, even though they knew that there were going to be grave consequences because of his refusal. So we celebrate Passover every year to celebrate our freedom from bondage under the Hamitic African Egyptians or Matazarium Mizraimites. And we celebrate it every year on the 14th is Passover of Abib. And on the evening of the 14th of Abib, as the day is ending, as we go into the 15th of Abib, which happens after the sun sets on April 6th, that is the first day of Passover. The first day and the last day, which is the first and the seventh day of the celebration, which will be again from April 6th, 7th, sunset to sunset is the first day, which is the 15th of Abib. And the seventh day is going to be April 12th to April 13th, sunset to sunset. Shalom, sister. So these days are very holy days. The first days, where should we go, King? Send me a message, Ariel, Nicole. Send me a message to Banya Unite at gmail.com. BANYA Unite at gmail.com. I would say any place between Turkey and Jordan is a good choice to answer your question. All right, but send me an email, please, at Banya Unite, and I can have a direct correspondence with you. BANYA UNITE at gmail.com. So on the seventh day, we keep it as a holy day. Now, Jerusalem is, when you look at the Kidron Valley, if you type in YouTube or if you go onto Google and you type in Kidron Valley, Kidron Valley, this is the valley which is also called the, which is also has a burial place in the Mount of Olives, is on the east of the Kidron Valley. This is the real Jerusalem. The real Jerusalem is not down south by the Dead Sea. If you do basic geographic and historical research for about maybe an hour, 90 minutes, then you'll quickly discover and find that out. If it's worth that to you, or if you just want to listen to what somebody's saying, or what I'm saying, or what the brothers in Southern Israel are saying, that's your option, but that's not very responsible. So nonetheless, we are preparing to celebrate Passover in Jerusalem 2020 from April 6th all the way to April 13th. April 13th at night is the absolute end of the feast day, all right? But we also want to meet up in Jerusalem this year. And we want you to come out there with us, and we'll be at Jerusalem somewhere around the Damascus Gate, which is on the northern side of the ancient walls or the older walls that were built around the city. So on the northern part of the wall, we'll be celebrating. We'll be there, and then we'll be celebrating and bringing in the Passover in Jerusalem this year. So join with your brothers, your sisters, your elders, your judges. We'll all be there celebrating, young and old alike. Brothers and sisters coming over from all over the world. Brothers and sisters from America, um, from from Europe are going to be there, keeping this feast day, and we want you to be there also. There's no charge. There's no charge. The only thing that we ask is that we do things decently and in order, and we don't forget to communicate, and we convey all of the cost that we will incur for the celebration of the feast and possibly the lodging that will be shared. And we take that cost and we divide it between all of the primary initial parties that are going to secure the venue, or it means to secure the property, the house. We're not trying to rent a hall or something, all right? We secure the venue and celebrate Pesach there, okay? And then once we have all of that settled, that's the only thing we need to do. Now, we will hopefully be in Jerusalem from March 30th before Pesach up until April 19th after Pesach is over. So we'll be there before and after, and anyone is welcome to stay there while we're there in that time period to go around to the different areas where our people are throughout the land, as well as the surrounding areas, whether you're talking about Syria or Jordan or Iraq, and places like that. So now, dealing with travel, getting into Israel, the best course of action is for you to go onto, and this is a secret that don't many people use. Go onto Google, use a computer, all right, or a laptop. Go onto Google. When you go into Google, you won't find this feature on your phone. There's a feature where you put in your point of origin. And once you put in your point of origin, do not put in a destination place. You can also put in flexible dates. You'll figure out how to maneuver it, all right? But you put in the dates that you want to travel. Once you do that, you'll have a map. Once you put enter, you'll have a map. That map will show you on your screen different cities in the area where you live at. What you do is you move that screen over toward Europe or toward the Middle East, and you'll see the prices of flights from your city to the other locations and cities throughout Asia, the Middle East, or Africa. You might have to zoom in to get a good picture. But that will show you what is the cheapest European cities for you to fly to. All right, now, once you know what European city you can fly to, next you try to see from Jerusalem, how much is it going to cost from that city. So if the cheapest place for you to get to is London, then from London you see how much is it going to cost you to fly into into Tel Aviv. And last we checked, there was a $127 flight leaving from Chicago. Just to give you an example, leaving from Chicago, all right, and that flight from Chicago was going into London, and from London there's a $69 flight from London going into Tel Aviv. So that will be approximately, well, if you add the numbers right, $196. And that's a one-way ticket. $196 there and $196 back, which is $400. I mean, you can barely fly on a good line in America for less than $400. So you can get to Jerusalem and back for around $400, $500 at the most, which is a small price to pay to go back home and keep the feast day in the place where we were commanded to keep the feast. But if you can't physically and financially get into Jerusalem, you have a few weeks to get there. So do some financial sacrificing. You might have to cut down your cable bill. Your cable bill and your cell phone bill together are between $100 and $200. If you strip that down to bare necessities and cut the cable down, for the next month or 2 months, that'd be enough savings for you to be able to get over in that part of the world. If you use less water, use less gas, don't travel as much, don't eat out, don't buy food from restaurants, don't eat snacks all day, stop buying sugary drinks and drinks with MSG, monosodium glutamate, that just make you want to drink more of those drinks because it's an exciter. It's what they call it, excitoflavin or a flavor. It's excitoflavin. It creates it makes your senses want more. That's what MSG is. All right, and we know that white sugar as well as high fructose corn syrup is addictive. So nonetheless, save money and you should be able to make that flight very cheaply. Now, once we understand that we're trying to go to Jerusalem, we're going to communicate with each other. So again, my Gmail account where you can contact myself or Elder Judge Nathaniel is Banya Unite, BANYA UNITE at gmail.com. BANYA UNITE at gmail.com. All right, at gmail.com. So again, this YouTube channel is, I believe it's Banya Yasha'Allah, Mashara Yasha'Allah. You can contact us from email, all right? You can contact us by email at Banya Unite, BANYA UNITE at gmail.com. Contact us and we can answer any questions that you may have about traveling, right, and things of that nature, how to get from your city to Jerusalem. The most expensive way for you to go, is to use the standard option, your origin city, and then your destination city, which would be Tel Aviv, because that's going to be very expensive. You're going to have a layover, and then you have to get another plane and get to that destination. You just break up your trip. I want to go from America to England. Bam. How much is that ticket? Okay, now I want to go from England to Israel, Tel Aviv. How much is that ticket? And that will save a lot of money. The housing, right now we have an Airbnb that we're looking at. Few options. We have one good option that has 22 beds. Or has 22 beds. Another one has 6 beds. Another one has 6 beds. And then we can get another one that has 10 beds. So that would give us a total of 22 beds between 3 places. All right, so then we can just kind of gather between those 3 places, and we can be able to, orchestrate meeting times and things of that nature, or we can try to get one place together closer to Jerusalem, closer to the Damascus Gate, or closer to the Lion's Gate or the Dung Gate, but it's going to cost a little more, but together we can do it. It's a celebration that we do once a year, holy day, so we can put our minds together and put our money together and put our sacrifices together, and we can make this happen. All right, we can make this happen if we try, and if we have we do it with intentionality, and we do it with desire to please the Most High. All right, there's nothing that can stop us from worshiping the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the way that He said to worship Him, if we're determined to do it. If we're not determined, if we're going to settle for less, then we're not going to be successful at what we're trying to do. So during this Passover celebration, we'll have the Seder, or the order of the services every day, special readings from the Torah every day, readings from the Basora every day, the life of Hamashiach, as well as going, hopefully we can all go together to the city of David, and we can see the areas that have been excavated where our ancestors used to be at, with archaeological evidences there that Jerusalem is at the Kidron Valley area, all right, and the western valleys and the the and the Mount of Olives. So it's all in the same vicinity. In the north, in the part of the country at the south of the Big Jordan River, and toward the north of the Dead Sea, as the scriptures call it, the Dead Sea. I know we say Salt Sea and we say Live Sea, but the scriptures call it the Dead Sea. All right. So anyway, we're gonna be there together, and we're gonna try to go and see some of the places where our people were, and we can, have a discussion about some of the cautionary things that you need to be aware of, because there are a lot of scammers out there that are trying to give you taxi rides to tourist shops and to gift shops, and then want to charge you X amount of money, for taking you someplace that a bus will take you for a tenth of what they want to charge you. I mean, take you directly. So this is a hustle that they have in Jerusalem. You don't have to pay anyone to pick you up from the airport either. You can get a RAV card when you go to the airport. Get a RAV card, which is a train card, and you can take that train to the central bus station and to the local transportation system for the train. And those buses and those trains can take you in the Jerusalem area, or it can take you anywhere in the whole country. All right, the central bus terminal, and I think it's going to cost you maybe about 18 shekels, maybe $6, between $4 and $6 to get there on a train from Tel Aviv all the way down south to Jerusalem. All right, so that's a very economical way to go. You don't need to rent a car. You don't need to have somebody hire a special vehicle for you. You don't need to give somebody $30, $40. You can do those things if you want to, but I'm just giving you another option to do it that may not cost as much. It doesn't cost as much. All right, you can catch a bus down also, but again, the bus is going to cost a lot more than the train. The bus costs a lot more than the train. You have to go through more. The bus, but the train gets there fastest. The bus, go and stop in traffic, let some people off along the way. Train, point A, point B. All right, the bus makes stops from Tel Aviv going down to Jerusalem. So we can make all those arrangements and show you how to do it on your own, or even have somebody up there to meet you when you come. Or if we all can book flights around the same time periods, okay, this first day, second day, third day, we're gonna have somebody coming up at this time. And we can show and tell you what bus stops you need to get off of, and where you need to walk to, because everything is in walking distance once you get in the vicinity, depending on what neighborhood you're in. Everything can be in walking distance. So we can discuss these things. Again, send a message to banaunite@gmail.com, which is BANAUNITE@gmail.com. Send a message. In a message, you can say Passover 2020, all right, or Jerusalem 2020, or Jerusalem Passover 2020, so we immediately know this is a subject heading and this is a high priority. If you do email and you have a problem, put in the subject heading problem, so we know that this is something that deserves our immediate attention. If there's a problem. But again, if it's about Passover, go ahead and put Passover or Jerusalem or Passover 2020, Jerusalem 2020, however you want to arrange it, but just something that we know, this is with Passover, so now we have to deal with this situation, and we can go, we can't open or share everything from every device that we see the emails from. So we now know, okay, this is about this, so now we need to have access to this Google Drive to share, or we need to get access to this WhatsApp file or document and send it back to this person as an attachment, but we may not be able to get to it. So put that on the, no problem, sis. Put that on the subject heading, and we'll know how to direct that message to the appropriate person to help you deal with the issue. All right, so again, this is about us getting together. It's not about a lot of brothers use Passover as a time to make money off of Israel and to charge Israel 100, 200, 250, for people to get together. And of course, you're going to be able to justify it if you really try hard enough. But I see in the Bible, something different. You were commanded to take your tithe money, which was a tenth of what you produced in your crops for your harvest. Take that money, take that food, take it to Jerusalem for the feast, or change it into money through selling it, and then take that money to Jerusalem for the feast to cover the cost, of your food. So we'll all be chipping in together for the food for Pesach. Right, we'll all be chipping in together for the food, and if we're all staying together, we'll all be chipping in together for the for the lamb. We want to get a live lamb, ideally. If we have to go down south and bring it back up north, then that's what we have to do. If we have to go to Bethlehem or Bethany and get it and then bring it back, then that's what we have to do. We have to try to do it the right way. All right, as prescribed, in the scriptures. All right. So again, and it would be nice, just as a side note, if we had something permanently set up in that land where we could all gather and have a base of operation. All right. So may the Most High Yahweh be with you all. Bless you all. Leaving from a major city is going to be better. And you might have to catch like a mega bus if you're in America. You might have to catch a mega bus to a larger city in order to get over there to the European city. Mega bus to a larger city. And then from that larger city, you can catch your flight into England. I know flights from Chicago are direct, no layovers or nothing, all right? Now, if you're in Europe, brothers and sisters coming from Europe, if you're in Europe, you want to just leave. If you can get to Poland, if you get an economic bus over to Poland, you can just leave from Poland and get a one-way ticket for about 55, 60, 75 US dollars. 55 one-way ticket into Jerusalem, Tel Aviv. So you might want to consider that also, because again, you can go directly from Poland into Warsaw, and then from Warsaw, you catch a flight into Jerusalem, 55. You might have to flex your dates a little bit. So that's if you're leaving from, like London or Amsterdam or Brussels or Paris, all right, or maybe even Spain. If you're leaving from Spain, you can catch a bus over to France. Don't catch the flight directly from Spain, because that's going to be maybe 175 or 200 euros. If you leave from Spain, you can catch your plane or catch a bus up to, or train up to Paris, up to Paris. And then from Paris, you can either catch a flight from Paris to Tel Aviv, or you can catch a flight or catch another bus from Paris to Poland, Warsaw. And once you get into Warsaw, Poland, you can get a $55 plane ticket. So that's maybe 70. If your bus ticket is gonna cost, probably, it should cost maybe, which I have a chart. I have a message that I got that tells us. I have a file that gives us the cost to travel throughout Europe. I might try to put an attachment for the document inside of the comments below. So look in the comments below, and I'll try to upload it onto a Google Drive, and then from the Google Drive you can go ahead and open it up, and then you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so that's about it. That's all. We can cover all bases if we work together, and we can win. We can win, right? It's not about making money. It's not about making a whole bunch of profit off of this thing. It's about us working together. Now, I know a lot of you brothers out there that are going to Telerod. A lot of you brothers, you aren't doing this to make profit. You're not doing it for profit. You're doing it because of the sincerity of keeping the Passover. All right. And if you have to keep the Passover until a Ra because you can't get to Jerusalem, that's fine. But that's not the biblical ancient Jerusalem, even though a lot of people are convinced that it is. That may not have done a lot of comparisons to what the Bible says and what the geography says and what history says, and how it all lines up together with the real Jerusalem up there by the Kidron Valley, between Bethlehem and Bethany and Jericho, and down in the southern city by Tel Arad in the Negev desert, which is not Jerusalem. But a lot of brothers are not doing Jerusalem, doing Passover, trying to make money off of people. So I salute the brothers in the congregation communities that do not, but you brothers and sisters that's trying to have the people pay you to do the feast. We have to do things more decently and in order. Let everybody know ahead of time what the costs are going to be, and then they got to, put their money in initially, right? You might have a venue that costs $1,000, $2,000. All right, so throughout the course of that year, or maybe 2-3 months beforehand, everybody starts putting in their money, and you got the cost of the venue, taken care of. And then you got to get the lamb, which is not going to cost a lot of money, all right? And then you have the people working together that have kosher stoves and kosher foods can also participate in the feast. That's how we used to do it, and that's how they still do it, how we taught our students to do it in America, in Ohio especially. Everybody chips in food, and you bring it. You chip in for the lamb, and you go buy it, all right? And you got a grill, you cook. You can, if it's small enough, you can put it on a medium-sized grill, all right? So anyway, may Yahweh be with you all in the name of Yahweh Shai. In advance, Pesach Shalom. And Cletus in Nigeria, we expecting you, man. Or you expecting you or somebody from the community to come over and keep the Pesach with us. Premnath or Prakash over in India, we expecting one of your brothers. Yakanan, we expecting you. Yakanan, the Benjamite, we're expecting you. That's way on the southern part of the globe right now. We're expecting you. Send one of the brothers from Kenya to come over and keep Pesach with us. Ibra Solomon, we'll see you over there. We might, if you're not up north with us, we'll come down south, hopefully, and link up with you brothers that are down south, keeping the Pesach, down there. It's all love. It's all love. But we got to do things decently and in order. Hopefully we can all link together, all right? Shebaniah and Nasik Asiel, all right? Yahweh's will, we get in touch with you brothers like ASAP and sit down and talk with you, meet up with you all right? Saramadiel down there, down south, hopefully we'll be able to see you, touch base with you. Our brother Hoshua, and our brother Adam down in Tel Arad. Hopefully we can link up with you brothers and see you too. Ashkelon, Galilee, Deboni. Hopefully we can see you. All right, Debeni, Elder Debeni up there. Hopefully we can see you. And Matiyahu, hopefully you can join us from Florida. All right, Bam, Aliyah Izar. Hey, let's make it happen now. Come over there with us, man. So all the brothers, try to come over there. If you can't come, try to send a man or a family to come over there. Now, if you're in Europe or the Middle East, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to come. Especially if you're in Europe. Those flights for Europe, they just giving away flights. They just selling tickets from Europe to just fill up a seat. So, join us. Yahweh's will, we'll keep this feast day together, and everything will be all right. So may Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless you all, protect you all, keep you, shine his face upon you, and give you peace in the name of his son, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Shalom Alaikum.